Okay, good evening and welcome to the October 10th budget season. Tonight on the agenda we have the fire and EMS as well as the transfer station. So I invite Vinny to come to the podium and take us through your 2025 budgets so we can understand. Which one would you like to start with?
Let's do personnel, get that out of the way.
Okay, your personnel.
That one's easy, relatively. So I just built out the hours like I've done in the past, based on basic EMT, advanced EMT, and paramedic for the per diem. Made the pay what I think is comparable in the area. We're not much higher than anybody, and we're not low. We're kind of in the middle right now, so we're at a good spot. We don't need a significant increase at any level. Call force, I cut that back a little bit. I was at 50. I just cut it back to 48 to keep my numbers in a decent percentage range. And that's about it. So we projected out this year 586, and I'm proposing 619.
Does this include the COLA increase for, okay.
Yes, I did 2.75, I think I was told.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
So I think it came in at 2.5. Okay, so, okay. So we can adjust if we have.
Yeah, I use the base.
Yep.
And then I work off that with stipends and the percent increases for rank.
Okay.
And
It's a small,
Yep.
20.2%, so.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
I just
I
wanted
did
to.
build it in, so the number I got is what should work.
Okay.
So, question, only increases or COLA in your budget?
For the personnel.
Yes, yeah, for personnel, yes. Yep.
So I have a question for you, and I'm trying to understand this. On your salary, is that for 52 weeks?
Yes,
So if there's a separate line for PTO, is that a bonus extra time off, or is that?
that is for everybody in the department. So the call members, the per diems, that's to pay their PTO. So I build that on, I take our hours we work in a year, divide it by 40, and then put an average dollar number to it, what the average pay is amongst the different levels. So that's not PTO for just me, that's the whole department.
Okay, so that includes per diem employees?
Yeah, the per
As well.
diems, the call, fire department, and my salary.
So I'm not sure, I knew about this, and then, are you guys aware of the state of Maine family medical leave? That they, starting in January of 2025, any employer with more than 15 employees, I believe, will start to charge 1% of their salary. So we're gonna have to go back in. Now, I believe, I haven't read all the rules, but I believe if you have more than 15, the town covers, in this case, the town would cover 0.5, and the employee would cover 0.5. So that's gonna have to be built into every person's budget
And that's
as a,
12 weeks?
yes.
12 weeks?
So it doesn't start until 2026, but they're gonna start collecting the money in 2025 so that they can do administration work and get all of the people hired. So I was reading that article. I haven't figured out all the rules yet, but we're gonna have to decide, as the select board's gonna have to decide, is the employee gonna cover the full 1% in their pay? Are they gonna cover 50%? Are we gonna cover 50%? So there's a decision here. So this number will probably change, because we're gonna have, if the town says we're gonna cover half, we're gonna have to raise this. And we'll put a new line in there that says Maine FMLA.
Yep.
So I wanna warn your employees too, that they could see that little bit of a
Yep.
deduction, or that new deduction under their taxes and things like that.
So it's 12 weeks of paid leave, right?
Mhm.
So what if people don't work full-time? Is it prorated?
Well, that's part of the whole,
I mean, I guess if it's a 40-hour employee, that still a
Right.
lot of time off, but someone that works 12 hours a week for us, that's
It's on call.
a pretty good deal. for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, so I don't know all of the rules, other than we're going to have to figure out how the impact to the employee and the impact to the town. So I just want you to know that as we start to figure that impact out, we'll may adjust this number.
Yep.
For you.
Yep.
So,
Yep. Yeah, I had heard of that, I didn't even factor it in, honestly.
yeah, that's why, that's why I was reading, we were reading about that, and I'm like, oh, son of a biscuit.
I don't know if they'll model it similar to Massachusetts, which I'm very familiar with from my clients down there, but there is a withholding amount,
Yeah,
and, you know, it's kind of like Social Security, there's a withholding amount, and then there's a match to, from the employer.
right, and that's what will happen here. Now, what I don't know if the employer has to give 50% and the employee gives 50%, so we would have to, I'm not a HR expert, but we have to read through the rules to see how that applies, and the board will have to make a decision on how they want that to impact the employees, because obviously we have more than 15 employees.
I don't understand how 1% is gonna fund that.
1% from everybody.
Right. So, I mean, if you took even my budget's, call it 600,000, only $6,000, it's not gonna
Right.
cover a lot of 12-week paid leaves.
I know. I don't know how that's gonna happen. Yeah, I mean, they're saying the 1% is just for administrative costs. I'm wondering if, as we get into this, they're going to start increasing that 1% to more.
Yeah, it's gonna become an unfunded liability if
Yeah.
there's not money someplace for it.
So you'll-
Interesting.
Yeah, you'll start to see that.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, like I say, if they're modeling it after Massachusetts, where I see the employees there, it's something, you know, each week is something like $3 out of their paycheck, something like that, so it hasn't really impacted, you know, too badly, but, you know, $3-4 a paycheck.
Some people, that makes a difference. That's a gallon of milk, or, half
Yeah,
a box of
these-
cereal.
Yeah, these are not 12-hour employees, so, you know,
Right,
They're,
They're-
it could be like $1.
but still, I mean, they're, okay. You want to move on to your, I'll say, operational budget?
Yep. So I projected out for this year, I did the best I could based on the, do you guys have the other spreadsheet with the adjustments I have to sit with Julie and make?
Yes,
So I
I
tried
have
to-
those.
Take those out of the number so I could get a true projection, and I think we come out pretty close to even, maybe a slight surplus, so, yeah, about a $3,000 surplus, so we're on track. We've had a lot of unexpected expenses, basically the biggest one being our ambulance, our older ambulance. We put some money into that. We're gonna look this fall to start talking to the ambulance dealers and start that process, and with the goal of the town vote in March to get that money approved out of the ambulance revenue account to purchase another one, and it'll be a probably 2-year wait kind of minimum, so 2028, so let it put it close to the 10-year mark for the
The
80
rescue.
which is kind of what they've been trying to do, so hopefully we don't get hit on it too hard, but I mean, I feel like this is my 3rd year. I feel like first year was rough, second year we kind of cruised along, and then this current year we hit a few more speed bumps, so, but I think we can cover it. I used the last $18,000 of my capital for some gear we purchased, turnout gear for the firefighters, so I was planning on using like half of that and then using the money in my operations to pay the other half, but where we're taking that hit, I just used up the whole 18 out of the capital and utilized the gear money towards the repair money, so hopefully it'll balance out. I don't think anything else this year ran crazy. Yeah.
So I think for your capital, you're only asking for the SCBA's? Is that what?
Yes, well, I want to add one if I can. So we
Okay.
have dry hydrants in town that we
Yes.
use to get water out of ponds, brooks, that type of thing. And we're having issues with those. I'm thinking we need to start looking at replacing 1 or 2 a year. And quick ballpark figure I got from Charlie in conversation, I asked him for a more detailed price, but haven't heard back from him yet. So I'm looking for $10,000. We think that's a safe number to at least do 2 next year. Try to do 2 each year for the next couple of years. Get those back. Or they're older, they're made of plastic, and they just eventually crack or leak, or we can't get water out of them, so we have
Yeah,
to.
they're just PVC pipe, if I
Just
remember
PVC
right.
pipe, yep. So we're looking at investigating going to a steel pipe or a cast iron pipe or something a little more durable. So get more out of them. So, yeah, I think $10,000 in capital would be a good number for that, to get at least 2 done.
Yeah, because I know there's one off Enterprise, right? There's on the bridge. And
Yes.
That probably just gets hit with all of the
Yep.
stuff.
We
from
did
the
2 of them 2 weeks ago on Burnham Road,
Burnham Road, yeah.
and neither of them could pull water. So we'd put our hose in the water itself to get, which is
Not
a little
good.
more work. you
Yeah.
know, So it's easier to get it out of the dry hydrant, so.
Okay.
Yep, so that'd be the only other one. I don't have anything else
Okay.
coming in. As far as the air packs, I'm gonna ask for the money to keep building that fund, because we spent $32,000 already on the air cylinders, because those are expired. The packs, the next standard from NFPA has not come out yet. It's supposed to be out, should have been out in '23, if they stayed on their 5-year track. So we're expecting it anytime, so. And I took a FEMA class program a couple weeks ago in Yarmouth. They had a FEMA guy up here that does the grants, teaching the process kind of thing, and kind of giving pointers on how to get stuff, what to ask for, what's the priorities right now kind of thing with the feds. So we're going to look into doing grants, and the packs will be the top priority. So hopefully we'll have the money in capital. Hopefully we don't need it down the road. I mean, it was a 5% match, but it's minor compared to the overall cost.
So speaking of grants, do you want to tell the committee the good news?
We have $1.8 million in our bank account.
We received the
Finally,
grant.
finally. Really,
That was a very arduous process for you, I know it
It
was.
was a long time, yeah, but I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it in the end, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually been applied to the loan, but Julie either has or is in the process, has been. so
It
it's
has.
been-
I don't know that it has been, but
Yeah,
there is.
so it's in process
in the
to pay down the
process.
loan, so save that interest rate.
Congratulations, that's been a
Thank you.
process for you.
Yep, a lot of work, a lot of people helped out, and it's good for the town, and hopefully the water project is next.
Yep.
Yep, it's good stuff.
Okay, so the last question I have is, I'm assuming this is just the new fire station.
Yep.
The question to the board is, what are we doing with the old fire station? Because we still have lights, heat, water, things like that. Are you looking to put that in a separate article? Or are you looking, I don't know that you want to mix the two, because it would become very difficult to say, this is truly what the new fire station costs, as far as electrical, sewer, water. So I'm assuming you would still have some minor expenses in that old station.
That should be separate.
Okay.
All under buildings and grounds.
You're going to put it under buildings and
I
grounds?
think it makes the most sense to me to do that. I'll just double check. I know Alicia's been looking hard on my spreadsheets.
It almost makes sense to shut it down for the winter, I would think. I mean,
Shut off the water.
bring the water, shut off the electricity, and I wouldn't heat a vacant building just to keep the pipes from freezing. I'm sure a plumber could.
Yeah,
Draw it
you guys
down.
would have to decide what you want to do there.
Yeah, I think we have to wait on the committee to make some more recommendations.
Well, we made a recommendation to the board on what to do with the old fire station.
We as in the building advisor.
But the building advisory committee has made a recommendation, so you would have to. But again, if you'd have to think about, do you want to have someone come in, drain the water, shut it off, remove the electricity? That's a cost to doing some of that for the winter. Or do you want to set the heat at 55 and I wouldn't, but that's just me. I don't know, you're not using it for anything, right? You guys aren't,
We don't have any plans. We've trained with it, like used to throw ladders and that kind of stuff, but nothing inside really.
so, okay.
Yep. Yeah, so speaking of building, so I highlighted some of my lines in yellow, they're either new or changed. So the first one was propane, we used a little bit of propane at the old building, but we're fully propane for heat now.
Yep.
So that one, I just changed from oil to propane basically and added, quite a bit more,
Sure.
bigger building.
And is your generator propane as well?
No, that's diesel.
That's diesel?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. What else did see if there's anything else big on this line? So I guess that's the biggest,
The water is sewer?
biggest change. Yeah, sewer, I took out water, we only get a sewer bill. So I just made that sewer, left it the same. I don't know really how that's gonna play out.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot at this point, because you haven't been in the building for
Yep.
the winter.
Yep.
I'm just thinking, even the electric, we don't know about the radiant floors. We don't know.
Yeah, electric's that one I put up quite a bit, because we do have, just the bills we've had since we've been there. That was cooling season, obviously, so that's probably not a total representation of the whole year, but the bills have been quite a bit higher than across the street.
Yeah.
Fire alarm, I added that. Obviously, we have a monitored fire alarm system now, which we have to by code because we have a sprinkler system. Telephone went up quite a bit, because that's also tied in with our internet. So we have a
Internet.
faster, they ran in a fiber optic cable, so we have higher, which works good for what we need to do.
You guys were slow over there in the
Yeah.
old building.
So with the technology available, that'll keep us at a good place for a long time. I added a grant writer. I'm working on exploring that. I don't know what path we're going to take on that. And that class I took, it seemed to be like a negative tone towards template grants, grant writing companies that send in grants, and they're kind of a template, and there was several mentions, and it was kind of like a negative tone to it. So I'm going to talk to other people. I know one of the areas is vehicle. And our tanker is 25 years old, and in the vehicle area, I'm looking at doing that. So Hiram just got $525 for a tanker, and Lebanon got $725 for a tanker. So going to explore that. I want to talk to them and kind of learn like what path did they take, and steal their grants and work on, don't reinvent the wheel, basically, kind of use the angle they use to some degree and apply it to what goes on in Limerick. So I don't know, I'm going to leave the grant writer in there because it might be a good path to take, but I'm going to kind of speak to the neighbors and see what, they were successful, kind of see what they did.
Yeah, the grant, because
Yeah.
you could go for that, your SCBA's, you may be able to do other options,
Yeah.
so I think.
Yeah, I'm looking, the areas they had, there's an EMS equipment area, I want to get a second CPR device. So we have one on each ambulance. The tanker, which might be, aiming for the sky, but it's worth, they can only say no. Then the SCBA, and the last one, if we do a fourth one, would be our radios. Our radios are getting to the point where they're kind of getting old, so.
You had also said the Hozak Tower needed work. That's your communications tower. I didn't see anything in here. Do you not have a?
I'm planning on, so I've been billing them the last 2 years. So Leamington, the Sheriff's Department, and the County Tower Group. I billed them each $1,000 the last 2 years, so it should be around $6,000. I'm going to bill them again this year to give us $9,000, and
Do you think that'll cover the expenses that are needed up there to update the equipment and fix
it's
whatever?
just the building right
Okay.
now. So they went up before I was here. They purchased, whoever was on the building committee, there was a pile of T111 plywood in the Brick Town Hall they had bought. To redo that, what I'm told is they did one side and then kind of said, this is too much for us, we'll get someone else, and just kind of went by the wayside, I'm guessing, but.
Okay,
So it's rotting siding, basically. I don't know what the roof condition is, but it's not a big building. I think it's probably 12 by 12, I'm guessing. I haven't been up there in a couple of years, but, so it's just protecting the equipment.
right.
And then there's batteries up there, would have to be replaced at some point, most likely, so.
Yeah, that communications equipment's critical for you guys, so,
Yep, and the people that use it, yeah.
yeah.
So, and I mean, we use other towers as well, so that's why we pay to the Southern Maine Communication Group,
Right,
so.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't plan on anything capital-wise.
No, I'm just thinking if it's an expense to fix that building and you've got to go buy wood, do we put $1,000 in here so that you guys can just go up there in the spring or hire someone to go sturdy up that building before, so that it doesn't collapse or water doesn't get in or snow to damage that equipment?
Yeah, I think after this year's bill, it should be about $9,000. I would think that would be enough to resheathe it, maybe re-roof. If we're hiring somebody, that obviously is a different variable. That can get expensive.
Yeah, but I don't know if you guys have the time to go up there and
Right, yeah.
do the repair work, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just wanted to make sure that you had enough to cover.
Yeah, I don't have an answer, I guess, is
Okay.
probably my best answer right now. I have to go up and do a good evaluation of it. I mean, I'm not a construction guy, but I can at least look at, see if it's rotting out and what, that type thing.
Yeah, I just don't want to, that expensive equipment up there, and it is critical to not only the town, but York County Sheriff's Office uses that. So a lot of people use that tower.
Yep.
I would hate to see that diminish
Yep.
because of the building.
Yep.
So we need to get that assessed.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
I think that's it for the big increases, the electric,
Mm-hmm.
the telephone, and then the vehicle repair I upped, obviously. Those are getting expensive. Getting work on vehicles now is pretty expensive regardless of how small of a repair it is, so.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions for Vinnie? Okay,
All right,
you're all set.
thank you.
Thank you. I'll forward you the emails. All right,
His budgets.
Joanne, you want to? Joanne also made some changes from what she originally submitted, so she's highlighted them. And she gave us a printed copy.
Yeah, I made a few adjustments, and my salary and the two attendants that work 19.65 hours a week for 52 weeks, those pays are not increased to the same.
Okay.
I am asking for a new attendant for 21 and a half hours a week for 32 weeks at $16 an hour. I'd like to hire that person to be an attendant from May 1st to October 31st. Those are really busy months, and if anybody came to the transfer station in July, they can see what's going on down there. And I didn't think that it would be necessary, at least this first year, to hire someone the full year. I wanted to just keep them at part-time for the time being. I figured the hours for the paid leave, and you'll make those adjustments along with the cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking for 600 in training and 250 in travel. I go to the conference every year, and I go to the annual meeting, which I'm going again the end of the month, to Bangor. And this year, the MRRA meeting, they're having a speaker on grants. So I plan to take that along with another course that I have to take. Membership and dues, 900. I did make an adjustment to the electric at 3,500 because I'm right at budget now, and I still got 3 months to go.
Okay.
So the electric's gone up, everybody's has. Portable septic, cell phone, no change there. Specialized services, grinding and compactor, that hasn't changed. I split up the vendors, really. Eco-Maine now covers the demolition and the bulky waste, OBW. All of that is shipped to Eco-Maine. My light-duty equipment, backhoe, excavator, at $15,000, that covers all the heavy duty that I have to hire to maintain the facility. The tipping fees for Eco-Maine for single sort recycling is $10,000. This year we got a check back for like $3,600, I think, which made the tipping fees equal with the household waste tipping fee. RW Herrick Hauling, they will be hauling all containers now because of the change with the Mellon contract. So they will be hauling our household waste compactor as well as the rest of them. And they've hauled for us for the last 20-plus years. Recycling, that's our electronics recycling, that hasn't changed.
So a couple of questions on the transfer. I thought you were putting in a bathroom. Were you putting in a bathroom? So is that
The
done?
money is still there.
Okay, you're still doing that project? Okay.
It's designated and the money's still there.
No, I was just saying, you
Yeah.
had put portable septic here. I was just wondering if that project had been finished.
No, not
Okay.
yet.
And is the compactor that you got this year, that's installed or will be installed by
Will be
the,
installed before the end of the year.
by the end of the year?
And then we'll see how much is left in that account. They combined my $80,000 for the compactor job and the balance that I had for the bathroom into one account, one designated account for the transfer
Okay.
station.
So we have to break that out. We'll have to break that out, because when you set the capital, I can't remember if we set the capital specific, or was it just for the transfer station, and then we had sub-accounts underneath?
Yeah.
So when we did that article, I believe it was identified for the compactor only,
And $80,000.
and $80,000.
Yes.
So if she had gone over for 81,000, we would not have been able to take that $1,000 out of the transfer capital,
Yeah.
because that was only 80,000, so that's the risk we run. Okay, so we need to break those out.
Yeah.
Okay,
And I made an announcement at the selectmen's meeting that the attendants and I have decided to donate the money for the attendance building that we have coming for the compactor. And that's coming out of our bottle account. We have a separate designated, like the library does for
the donations of the bottles and stuff. Yep, okay.
and that building's $4,000.
$4,000.
So we're donating that, and we're dedicating it to the people that bring their bottles and cans down for us to recycle.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Okay.
Contracted services, that's Mellon and Sons, and the new price is $300,000, so I made that adjustment. And I think everything else stays the same.
So we're going up from 547 to 617?
Yep.
Okay.
And the majority of that is 60,000.
60,000 if it's the new contract. And it'll go up a little bit more as we add the COLA. And the same thing will apply to you. We have to figure out that new Maine FMLA
Yeah.
thing. And then I think I had indicated to you earlier, we had talked 2 weeks ago about pulling out the earned paid leave and making it its own separate article. So we'd have to discuss how to do all of that.
So we don't have to raise the full amount every year, only the amount that's used, right?
Only the amount that's
That
used,
makes sense.
instead of continuing to raise the full amount every year.
Yep.
Any questions for Joanne? No? Pretty straightforward? Okay. I do not have any additional questions at all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
What are these?
Oh, those are mine.
Oh,
Sorry. From my other meeting. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to address tonight on the agenda? No? Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. I will second that motion.
All right, all in favor? Good night.